poem is titled The Strongest Man in the World. Me, I'm not a strong man. Nah. I met the strongest man in the world when I was 8 years old. He lifted me on his arm. And when I asked him how he did it, he said it was easy, that I hardly weighed a thing at all. That how could I have made him soar when he was so big, and I stood near him and looked so small? See, me, I'm not a strong man. No. I met the strongest man in the world when I was less than a minute old, and he didn't hold me then. Didn't parade in the long line of men in my life who would tell me when my wife showed me attitude that it was because of my failing as a husband. Those marching men, flailing and stunted, frightened, that having softened hearts would mean having a softened chest. But the strongest man in the world, he taught me best. Taught me ignore the rest and bore the zest out of life with your wife and take a carving knife to the modern model, manly man. See me, I'm not a strong man. No. I met the strongest man in the world when I was less than a minute old, and he didn't hold me then. But he held my mum when she held me, and just us three felt lucky as could be. When I asked him later how he did it, he said it was easy, that we hardly weighed a thing at all. My father is not really a tall man, but he could draw you a floor plan to the house he'd build his children. He knows it like the back of his hand, knows each room and where he would build them. He'd say, here, I'd put the sunroom for you kids to play, and if I could, I'd pull the sun and moon down every day so you could all say, look how strong my dad is. My father is the kindest man in the world. He would say, here, I'd put the kitchen, and I'd build all the cupboards at waist height because you were all raised right, but at a raised height, I think your mum might have a hard time reaching. But I'd build her that kitchen so you could all never forget to mention, look how strong my dad is. My father is the gentlest man in the world. He'd say, here, I'd put the garden. And I could sit and watch from the yard when your mum's green thumb makes me numb, makes everyone else's green thumb seem dumb. I'd build her a garden and I'd sit there guarding every little thing she grew because she went and grew each and every one of you. My father is the strongest man in the world. And for me, strength is the hardest word in the world to define. Because you look it up, and there you'll find the quality or state of being physically strong. I met the strongest man in the world today. I asked him how his morning was, and he said that the cold makes his bones ache, but he never moans awake when he goes to take my little sister to school. So when she gets there, she can say, I met the strongest man in the world today. But what she'll really say is, I met the kindest man in the world today. I met the gentlest man in the world today. I met the most respectful man in the world today. I got dropped off by my dad today. Thank you.